Hi, welcome to Still Becoming. My name is Betty and I'm your host for today. First of all, I'd like to thank you for watching my first video on Still Becoming and hope you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to talk about stop masquerading. And yes, I have notes because I put a lot of effort into these videos, and believe me, they're not easy to make because they're just not easy to make. But anyway, I think this is my fourth or fifth go round at this video. So without any more to do, whatever that means, let's just go ahead and jump in. Stop masquerading. The reason why you want to stop masquerading is because when you are masquerading, you are not making real connections. So this video is about making real connections. This is your journey to a new circle of friends. Now, we talked yesterday about the mask, the role that the mask played for decades. It hid you from who you really were, and it also made you safe. So again, the mask that you was wearing, it hid the real you, but it protected you and it made you feel safe. When you really think about it, and I want you to think about that, and I want you to leave a comment in the bottom, because you're going to leave a lot of comments today because I have a lot of questions for you too. So wearing that mask is the way that we hide our real self for whatever reason. Now, we're not going to go into it in this video why people hide their real self, but we're going to touch on a lot of things. So here's the truth. When you finally remove that mask, what you're going to discover is that those people that was around you, that was around that mask, they fall off because they can't take the real you, the real woman or the real man that you have become. They can't take that anymore. And we're going to discuss that a little bit further. Today I want to talk about the transition from being who they expected you to be to who you are now. Let me tell you a story. I've had this friend for a long time. She wasn't just my friend. She was my confidant. She was my mentor. She was my spiritual advisor. She was my go-to person whenever I had a problem. And believe me, I was so messed up. I had a lot of problems. Unbeknownst to me, she loved that side of me because that side of me was a mask that she could deal with. But it wasn't a mask that I wanted to wear for the rest of my life. So I had to do a lot of work. And if you've been with me for a while on my other channel, Live, Learn, and Grow, I don't know about you, but I did a lot of growing during that season. Now, this is a different season in my life. This is the quiet house season, and probably your quiet house season as well. But during that quiet time, there's still a lot of work to become. Now, after you have been, and for me, especially with my friend, after she mistreated me, lied on me, cheated, talked about me, mistreated me, y'all know the song. You can put the rest of it in the comments. Lied on, cheated, talked about, mistreated. She did all of that to me once my mask fell off. Can anybody relate to someone that you thought was your sister, your dear sister, maybe even been a real sister, but when they found the real you, when the real you came out, they couldn't handle you? And you are not too much. They're just not enough. So how do you find your new circle when you're still trying to figure out who you are? When that mask came off, you became a new person. So you're still trying to figure out who you are. So you want to find a group of people, a community that celebrates the true you, the new you, the person that you are becoming, not the title, not the title of that's my friend Betty, she's the entertainer. Oh my gosh, she is so funny. You guys, you can't wait to meet her. She would have you cracking up. Oh, that's my friend John. He can fix anything. Girl, he'll come to your house and see something broken and he'll just fix it. That's not who you are anymore. You are becoming. But wait, before you rush out there and get this whole new community, there's some things you have to change about yourself. There's some things that you have to undo. Because if you don't undo them, you're going to be stuck in the nice girl role. You're going to be stuck in the fixer role. You're going to be stuck into use me till you lose me. You don't want to be that. Or you're going to be stuck in, I feel like a stranger in my own life. So let's talk about how you find your true north or your becoming. Did I tell the story already? Because I got stories to tell. Just because now you've taken off the mask and you're not people pleasing, you're not entertaining, you now found that you're vulnerable. This is a whole new you. So you're vulnerable. And you're no longer open to the public. Oh my God, I was open to the public. Especially when you get on dating sites, you are open to the public. But now that you are becoming, guess what? You've closed that door. The sign no longer reads, open to the public. Now the sign reads, private members only. That is what becoming is. Private members only. But before you can get to that private members only, you have to learn how to vet. Vetting is going to be your new normal. So pay attention here. The reason why you had narcissistic friends that didn't care about you, well, one of the reasons is because you didn't vet people. And sometimes people, you got to vet your own children once they grow up because they're not that little girl and not that little boy that you grew up. They went out into this big bad world and they became other people. And then they want to come back and use you and abuse you. So you got to vet them too. We'll talk about that later. Now, let's see here. So if you don't vet people, like I said, you're going to meet the same people on your way up that you met on your way down. The only difference is the faces has changed and the names have changed. But the people are still the same. They want you to be the old you, the fixer, the person who can fix them. You ever had somebody say, I'm so messed up and you're so smart, can you fix me? I have. Have you ever gone through something like that? Let me know about it. Okay, the people that want you to come to their house and fix everything because you can't say no. Side note here. No is a complete sentence. Learn it. No is a complete sentence. Here's what vetting would do. It would protect your energy. You don't have years to waste anymore on these energy vampires. These people that just want to take, and just suck the life out of you, and suck the blood out of you till your soul gets tired. Have your soul ever got tired? My soul had gotten tired and weary. And if you've been there, please let me know if you've been there. I know I haven't been there in the soul tired and a weary state all by myself. So vetting people will protect that energy so your soul don't ever have to get tired again. Vetting will build a foundation of peace. So you're moving from doing to being. Vetting will make sure that your circle is your source of peace. They're not going to be a circle of drama like it used to be. Let me tell you about being so nice. You've heard people that say, she would give you the shirt off the back. You've heard people say that. So-and-so is so nice, they would give you the shirt off their back. Well, let me tell you, I was so nice that I gave this woman the bra right off my breast. True story. Now, I can't make this stuff up. So when I went through menopause, my breast had swelled up. I thought it was going to stay that way. So I went out and bought a bra, bigger bra, because I was big, okay? I was loving it. And not only that, they were perky. They were standing up for all of 2 minutes. So I bought the bra, and I went to work, and I brought a new sweater to go with it so I can look really sharp. And on my way home, I had to stop and fill up my tank for gas, which is something that I truly hate doing. So as I was filling my tank up, I noticed on the side that there was this truck and it had a lot of stuff in it. And this lady walks out and she says, "Excuse me, ma'am, we seem to be the same size. Can I have your bra?" I am so nice. I was so nice. I didn't even go to the restroom to take off the bra. I simply put my hand in the back, unsnapped the bra, pulled it out from under my sweater, and gave it to the ladies. Now that's being too darn nice. And let me tell you why I was so nice. You see, I was raised that nice girls, be a nice girl, smile, be sweet, help people. If you see somebody in need, help them. This was the perfect way to be. No one told you about boundaries. No one told you that you don't take your bra off in the middle of a gas station and give it to somebody. You was just told to be nice. Even on my job, people would come by and just take my tissue paper. Boom, come by, take. One girl even said, "Hey, if you want some tissue paper, it's on Betty's desk." Tissue that I bought with my hard-earned money, everybody was coming up and using my tissue when they could have went to the bathroom and got toilet paper. But I never said a word because I grew up to be that nice girl. Now I've missed my place here, so let's see what we're doing here. So we're gonna talk about finding your true north. Did I say that already? Okay, so you're being vulnerable. I said that. Okay, we're gonna replace some toxic people. I said that. Okay, so where are we now? Okay. Now we're going to talk about 3 ways in which you can vet your new friend, because we've already talked about why vetting is important, how vetting is going to bring you peace, how vetting is going to, you're going to meet people that you don't know that's going to sit with you in your new space, okay, the new you that you are becoming. No more of that drama, no more being taken advantage of, no more attracting narcissistic people. So here's a three ways to vet new people. The first one, let's say you have a coffee date, okay, and you're in the date, so it's feeling good. You're battering back and forth, you're talking, you're having a communication. But here's the post check. When you leave that date, that coffee appointment, ask yourself, how do you feel? Do you feel more at peace when you left that person? Or do you feel like the mask had to come back on and you had to be the performer? Think about that. I want to know how you felt when you met your new person, because you are becoming. Here's a story. And I tell y'all, I was messed up. I was messed up. I won't say I was broken, because I don't believe any of us are broken. I just believe we're misinformed. So I had met this young woman about 3 years ago. We had lunch because we met at a place where we were buying salads, and she came off very friendly. And of course, I was very friendly because I had that mask on. And so as we were eating lunch, we were talking back and forth. But when I finished having lunch with her, I felt drained because I was performing. I had immediately put on my performance mask. And for the whole duration of the time that I've known her, she's known me as the performer. So of course, she's going to tell all her friends, "Girl, you have got to meet my friend Betty. She is so funny. You're going to just love her." Same thing my friend said for 40 years when we went on that cruise. She told everybody that they have got to meet me, that I can weave a story like it's nobody business. She's told everybody that I can tell a story that you don't know if I'm lying or if I'm telling the truth. Because some of the stuff that I would say, most of it, 98% was the truth, but I would embellish it a little because I wanted that attention. I was feeding off that attention. So these people who I thought was my friends, they were actually my audience. A big difference. When you have that mask on, you don't have real friends. You have an audience. Okay? You don't have real friends. You have people that want to use you for what you could do for them instead of what have they done for you lately. Okay, so the post check is the question that you're going to ask yourself, do you feel lighter and more at peace? Like I said, when I finished that lunch with that person, I felt like the mask was back on and I was entertaining. So if you feel like you are performing for anybody, know that they are not in your circle. Now, the next test I want to show you is the give and take. Because let's face it, a lot of people here in this community right here with you and I, we're givers, we're helpers, we're fixers. And there are people out there with a nose that they are sniffing out us to get from us, to take from us, because we are so, so sweet and so, so nice. And we do that no more. So you want to give and take. Here's the vetting question. When you share a piece of your truth or your struggle, does the person you're sharing it with, do they jump right in and make it about them and try to one-up you on the conversation? Like, I can give you a story that I struggled more than you struggled. They want to one-up you. If you find yourself finding your new circle and you get those one-up people, that's a red flag. They're not supposed to be in your circle. Let them one-up somewhere else, because you want someone that's going to respect you, that's going to care for you, okay? Like we talked about the other day, you want those kind of friends in your circle. I had one of those friends that was like that. She would, every time I said something, she got something better. And then sometimes she would just come over and she would just have story after story after story, men problem after man problem after man problem. She was exhausting, okay? She was entertaining, but after she would leave, I found myself so exhausted, I had to go and, balance my chakras. And when I stopped allowing her to use me as her audience, she stopped coming around because she needed that. But I had grew to a place where I didn't need validation from people. I didn't need to be the entertainer anymore. I have learned to love myself. I have learned to love my quietness. I have learned to love my peace. And that's what happens when you take the mask off. Sure, the friends are gone, but the peace is worth every bit of the silence. So the advice is, a real friend is a two-way street. They hold space for you. A real friend has empathy and compassion. Let me tell you a story. The same person I met for lunch. Well, she gave a party, and I told her that I would come to the party. And I really wanted to come to the party. But what happened was I had an emergency in my family where I couldn't make it to the party. So I texted her that day and I said, hey, I can't make it to the party. I have an emergency in my family. She texts back, okay. Now, a real friend would have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you can't make the party. Is there anything I can do for you? Let me know immediately. Okay, and the next day, they would have been calling you again to see what they can do for you because the party went on without you. But the reason why this person said, okay, because I was the entertainment for that evening. The entertainment had canceled. Whereas I thought I was in her friend circle, I was not. I was in that other circle, entertained without getting paid. How many of y'all have been in the entertainment business, but you didn't get the entertainment pay? Drop that down there. Let me know about it. Okay, so you have to be careful. The people that you think are friends, when you have that mask on, you're not even human for some of them. So let's move on. We said the third way of vetting the person is, I'm lost. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, the give and take test. Okay, what about this one? You've known each other for a long time, but here's the question. Do you still share the same values, or do you just share history? Because let me tell you a story. That same friend I went on that cruise with, we had been friends for years. Yeah, we were so close when we was in our sinful lifestyle. Don't even act like y'all ain't never been in your sinful lifestyle, because I know you have. We used to laugh and say we didn't want to repent because we knew we had to, but we didn't want to because we was enjoying our sinful moment, our sinful season. We used to say we didn't care if we had a mansion when we got to heaven, because we were sure we were going to get into heaven, even in our sinful state. But we were okay if we just had a little hut in the corner, because we were going to sin and we would just have so much fun, and in that stage of our life. But when I started taking my relationship with God to the next level, oh, she couldn't take it. She would argue with me about my values. And she would argue so, and she would be hollering and screaming. And I said, why are you hollering and screaming? And she said, I'm not hollering. I'm just being passionate. Be careful. When people say they're not hollering, they're just being passionate. No. What they're saying is, what they're desperately saying is, I need you to put that mask on, because I only feel good when you have that mask on. I don't feel good when you got a close relationship with Christ. I don't feel good when you have a man in your life. They're crying for you to put that mask back on. Don't you do it. Don't you put that mask on for anybody ever again. Just because they've been with you for 30 or 40 years doesn't mean that they need to come into your future. So, here's the call. One day, it was Christmas Eve, this Christmas Eve. Because, I'm the nice girl. I was the nice girl. I was sitting in a quiet house, because the house is quiet now. I'm retired. My husband has passed on. A tsunami came in my life and wiped out all of my friends, and they were all narcissistic. And a tsunami came and just wiped them all out. And there I wasn't invited to any more parties, because I wasn't the life of the party anymore. So I was sitting there in quiet when something hit my foot. It wasn't an object. It was a feeling that just said plop. And I said, ouch. And when I got quiet, because I looked around my house, it was like, there's nobody here. There's nothing dropping from the ceiling. Why did I just feel something hit my feet? That was to get my attention. So I want you to pay attention to these things when they happen to you, because they happen to you for a reason. So the Spirit of the Lord had my attention. It said to me, and I'm not lying, and I'm not making it up, and I'm not fluffing it. He said, 19 years. I said, 19 years? What do you mean 19 years? He said, 19 years you have been doing for your daughter. You have been jumping through all kinds of hoops of fire, even when she turned the flames up so that it would have just burned anybody. You still jumped in that fire to help her, because I'm the nice grandmother. He said 19 years and it stops now. I said, but Lord, I love being nice. I love, doing things for people because I'm a fixer. I'm a fixer. He said, what has she done for you? I said, well, okay, let me think about it. So I started thinking. We never went to get our nails done. We never had mommy-daughter time. We never went to the spa together. And these are things that I have asked to do with her. And her answer was, oh, it would be so much fun for you to do that with. In other words, you have no value to me other than to watch my children, clean my house, wipe my butt when I tell you to, the way I tell you to do it. Now, I know some of y'all out there can relate to that. That's what wearing that mask does. That's how people will treat you when you have that mask on. So let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying this video? If you are, press the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell a friend about becoming. Because if you are in a season of your life right now that you are becoming, we're going to talk about some things. You see, when I stopped doing for my daughter, and she took that trip to Africa, and I know some of y'all know her, and it's probably going to get back, but guess what? When you start becoming and you know who you are, you don't give a hoot about what somebody think about you. Honestly, you don't. You have outgrown that. And if you're not, you're becoming, you will outgrow that. You will outgrow it. So I said no, which is a full sentence. And when I said no, baby, all hell broke out in my life. That girl snatched them grandchildren from me so fast because I did not matter. And we're going to talk about grieving. Well, how the narcissist can make you grieve like it ain't nobody's business. But now that you're becoming, the narcissist and all those other people, those takers, they can't touch you. They will not be able to touch you. You stay tuned to this channel. You start sharing these videos with other people. You start telling me what is the hardest thing that you ever had to do during your empty house season. And we talk about it. And we grow through it. And we become better men and women. That's why it's so important that I hear from you. Now, in conclusion, 2 things. This hand is my right hand. This is going to be your true self. This hand is your left hand. This is the mask. When you're meeting these new people to bring in your circle, if they honestly respect the right hand, the true you, let them in your circle. Private members only. If they only want you to put the mask on, close that door. You are no longer open to the public. You got that? Now, also, where do you go to meet these new people? Very good question. How about that coffee shop that you go to all the time? Coffee drinkers like to have coffee at the same time of day. I know that. Okay? So when you're at that coffee shop, look around. You're probably seeing the same people all the time. Make a connection. Make a true connection based on the person that you are becoming, and you are always still becoming. The bookstore. You go to the bookstore, the clerk is probably the same. Look around. You'll see some people, some familiar faces. And here's the thing too. When you're redoing your circle to get friends that are going to respect you, okay, and celebrate you, you want to be seen. When you want to be seen at that coffee shop all the time. So someone said, I go to the coffee shop and I see that girl with that blonde hair. I never really talked to her, but she's there every Monday or whatever day it is. These are the people you can make connections with, even at the bookstore, okay? Out here, tea parties are good. We do a lot of tea parties. They're a way to make friends. I once took a solo bus trip. Now, I didn't make any friends, but the reason why I didn't make any friends because I took the bus trip by myself, hence the word solo. So everybody else had a friend or a group. The old me would have morphed into whatever was going on that bus, and I would have became the entertainer. I would have been in the middle of the bus while the bus is moving, shaking around like this, but telling a funny story, dragging everybody into my life, okay? And everybody would have left that bus saying, "Oh my gosh, she is so nice, she is so funny. I want to invite her to my party." Those days are not happening anymore because I'm becoming. Another place you can meet people is at church. I have found after the tsunami came and knocked out all the narcissistic people, and they stopped talking to me because I was no longer wearing the mask, when I was no longer jumping through those hoops. I know y'all can relate to this, so please let me know. They left me. I didn't have to leave them. And that's the beauty about becoming. People will leave you. You don't have to do anything. Just be the true you. So another place you can meet people is this pickleball, whatever that's about. We used to call it handball back in the day. But in the pickleball, groups where people are doing stuff that you like to do. I like to go and do yoga outside with a group of people. Of course, there are younger people, but I still like to go and do this because at this point, I'm not trying to make friends, but I'm trying to stay active. And you want to stay active because remember, that house is quiet. There's no visitors coming by. So you have to force yourself to get out and do the things that you like to do. Create new habits like we talked about in the last video. Okay? And so going back to my church people, I have found that I have now formed a group of women that we share dinner every Sunday. It could be at anybody's house and everybody brings stuff. These people are my people. You will find your people. But you have to get out of your house. You have to get busy. You have to stop performing if you want friends that's going to carry you for the next 20 years. Because if you are already 60 or 70 and you're watching this video, you may get 20 more years. If you're lucky, you may get 30. But you want those friends to be there with you. Because life changes. Medical conditions changes. So get out there and make a new set of friends because you are the new you. You are becoming the woman that you always was meant to be. The woman that the world had told you that you were too much. Baby, you are not too much. They are just not enough. So get out there and enjoy your life. And don't forget, subscribe, like, share, but speak to me. Tell me, what is your biggest struggle? What is the thing that the hardest lesson that you had to learn in this lifetime? Or a video that you want us to talk about? Because remember those 3 pillars: identity, purpose, and I can't remember the grief. We're going to talk about those things. So the next one is probably grief. Because if you've been in a narcissistic relationship for a long time and you got out, you didn't get out unscathed. Let's talk about that. This is Still Becoming, and this is Still Betty. Have a good evening.